friends, in this video I am again going to continue Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone audiobook series. So friends, I left from page number 146. Ah yes, he said softly, Harry Potter, our new celebrity. Draco Malfoy and his friends Crabbe and Goyle sniggered behind their hands. Snape finished calling the names and looked up at the class. His eyes were black like Hagrid's, but they had none of Hagrid's warmth. They were cold and empty and made you think of dark tunnels. You are here to learn the subtle science and exact art of potion making. He began. He spoke barely more than a whisper, but they caught every word like Professor McGonagall. Snape had the gift of keeping class silent without effort. As there is little foolish wand waving here, many of you will hardly believe this is magic. I don't accept you will really understand the beauty of soft simmering cauldron with its shimmering fumes, the delicate power of one minute the delicate power of liquids that creep through human veins, bewitching the mind, ensuring the senses. I can teach you how to bottle flame, brew glory, even stopper death. If you aren't as big a bunch of dunderheads as I usually have to teach. More silence followed this little speech. Harry and Ron exchanged looks with raised eyebrows. Hermione Granger was on the edge of her seat and looked desperate to start proving that she wasn't a dunderhead. Potter, said Snape suddenly, what would I get if I added powdered root of elfhorn to infusion of wormwood? Powdered root of what? To an infusion of what? Harry glanced at Ron. Who looked at as stumped as he was. Hermione's hand had shot into the air. I don't know, sir, said Harry. Snape's lips curled into a sneer. Tut tut. Fiend clearly isn't everything. He ignored Hermione's hand. Let's try again. Potter, where would you look if I told you to find me a Bezoar? Hermione stretched her hand as high into the air as it would go, without her leaving her seat. But Harry didn't have the faintest idea what a Bezoar was. He tried not to look at Malfoy, Crabbe and Goyle, who were shaking with laughter. I don't know, sir. Thought you wouldn't open a book before coming. Oh, Potter. Harry forced himself to keep looking straight into those cold eyes. He had looked through his books at the Dursleys, but did Snape expect him to remember everything in 1000 magical herbs and fungi? Snape was still ignoring Hermione's curing hand. What is the difference, Potter, between Monkshood and Wolfsbane? At this, Hermione stood up, her hand stretching towards dungeon ceiling. I don't know, said Harry quietly. I think Hermione does, though. Why don't you try her? A few people laughed. Harry caught Seamus's eyes and Seamus winked. Snape, however, was not pleased. Sit down, he snapped at Hermione. For your information, Potter, Asford asphodel and wormwood make a sleeping potion. So power is known as powerful. It is known as the draught of life, the draught of living death. A bezoar is a stone taken from the stomach of a goat, and it will save you from most poisons. As for monk should the wool and wolfbane, they are the same plant which also goes by the name of aconite. Well, why aren't you all copying that down? There was a sudden ramming of quills and parchments over the noise. Snape said, and a point will be taken from Gryffindor house for your cheek, Potter. Things didn't improve Gryffindor for the potions lesson continued. Snape put all them into pair and set them to mixing up a simple potion to cure boils. He swept around in his long black cloak, watching them weigh dried nails and nettles and crush snake fangs, criticizing almost everyone except Malfoy, whom he seemed to like. He was just telling everyone to look at the perfect way. Malfoy had strewn his horned slug when clouds of acid green smoke and a loud hissing filled the dungeon. Neville had somehow managed to melt Seamus's cauldron into a twisted blob, and their potion was seeping across the stone floor, burning holes in people's shoes. Within seconds, the whole class was standing on their stools, while Neville, who had been drenched in the potion when the cauldron collapsed, moaned in pain as angry red boils sprang up all over his arms and legs. "Idiot boy!" snarled Snape, clearing this spilled potion away with one wave of his wand. "I suppose you added the porcupine quills before taking the cauldron off fire." Neville whimpered at the boils started to pop up all over his nose. "Take him up to the hospital wing," Snape spat at Seamus. Then he rounded on Harry and Ron, who had been working next to Neville. "You, Potter, why didn't you tell him not to add the quills? Thought he would make you look good if he got it wrong. Did you? That's another point you have lost for Gryffindor." This was so unfair. Harry had opened his mouth to argue, but Ron kicked him behind their cauldron. "Don't push," he muttered. "I have heard Snape can turn very nasty." As they climbed the steps out of dungeon, an hour later, Harry's mind was racing and spirits were low. He had lost 2 points for Gryffindor in his very first week. Why did Snape hate him so much? "Cheer up," said Ron. "Snape's always taking off Fred and George. Can I come and meet Hagrid with you?" At 5 to 3, they left the castle and made their way across the grounds. Hagrid lived in a small wooden house on the edge of Forbidden Forest. A crossbow and a pair of galoshes were outside the front door. When Harry knocked, they heard a frantic scrabbling from inside and several booming barks. Then Hagrid's voice rang out, saying, "Back, Fang, back!" Hagrid's big hairy face appeared in the crack as he pulled the door open. Hang on, he said, back Fang. He led them in, struggling to keep a hold on the collar of an enormous black bonnet. There was only one room inside. Harry's hams and peasants were hanging from the ceiling. A copper kettle was boiling on the open fire. In the corner stood a massive bed with patchwork quilt over it. Make yourself at home, said Hagrid. Make yourself at home, said Hagrid, letting go of Fang, who bounded straight at Ron and started licking his ears. Like Hagrid, Fang was clearly not as fierce as he looked. This is Ron, Harry told Hagrid, who was pouring boiling water into a large teapot and putting rock cakes onto a plate. Another Weasley. Oh, said Hagrid, glancing at Ron's freckles. I spent half my life chasing your twin brothers away from the forest. The rock cakes almost broke their teeth, but Harry and Ron pretended to be enjoying them as they told Hagrid all about their first lessons. Fang rested on his head and Harry's knee and rolled over his robes. Harry and Ron were delighted to hear Hagrid call Filch that old git. And as for that cat, Mrs. Norris, I would like to introduce her to Fang sometime. Do you know, every time I got up to school, she follows me everywhere. Can't get rid of her. Filch puts her up to it. Harry told Hagrid about Snape's lesson. Hagrid, like Ron, told Harry not to worry about it, that Snape liked hardly any of the students, but he seemed to really hate me. Rubbish, said Hagrid. Why should he? So friends, here are reading for today finishes, and meet you in the next video. Bye bye.